Like, I know people who... So, a friend of mine's grandparents, okay, they bought this house in Surrey, like, between, like, well, actually, no, Kent. So, like, South London. They bought this house very cheap. Obviously, London has grown quite a lot in the last 60 fucking years, right?
Yeah.
And now that house is worth quite a lot. They sold it. They bought a little flat, downsizing, and then they're just going to retire on the rest of the money. How sick would you... Like, for me, what I'd love to do is just have a load of money and then just go on cruise ships for the rest of my life until I die.
No, I think you were talking about this earlier,
That'd be
about
really cool, yeah.
winning the lottery.
Yeah.
Before we started the podcast, and you were saying how you wouldn't want to tell anyone because people would take advantage. The one thing I would definitely do is make sure that my mum has a house and she's set for life.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Because she's still renting. Like, she's renting from my grandmother at the minute.
Family first.
Oh, that's all right. That's not so bad.
And she gets a good rate for it. And she's been able to save for a mortgage, but since the pandemic hit, she's not been able to actually get the mortgage for the house that she wanted.
It's hard to do.
So it's been pushed back a bit. However, if I could, I would buy her a house outright and just like, don't worry about a mortgage or anything.
Of course.
You have a house now.
Well, I was saying, like, if you came into loads of money suddenly, what would be the point in going around telling everyone? Because that's just going to create jealousy. Obviously, like, what's the benefit of them knowing that? It's much better just to, if you can afford it, treating people to nice things. I'd love to set up some kind of a retirement plan where I just, like, pay mum a wage or something, every month, like, she's covered. And I'd love to, I'm working on a, thing I can maybe do that in the future one day. Who knows, all right? But, yeah, that would be much nicer.
Essentially,
and people wouldn't treat you differently because they don't know you're loaded.
Yeah, essentially, you'd like to be able to support your family without making everyone around you jealous.
Yeah.
Exactly, because I said this before. You get people coming out of all different angles trying to beg for support, and it's just...
removed, twice removed cousins and shit. People come out of the woodwork.
Exactly, and it's not that... You'll soon find, even though you're a decent person, that you're then being... You're almost feeling self-centered because you're then needing to disregard other people's, their way of life, or if they've got problems in their life, you're going to have to shut that out. And, sometimes I do say this, like, money doesn't always bring happiness.
It really doesn't.
It can sometimes bring more hassle.
Well, this is why I didn't want to just put up the coffee machine to sell. It's like, I'll offer it to my friends first, because at the end of the day, I don't need the money. It's not going to change my life.
I mean, you are furloughed, like...
Yeah. However, I know by offering it to my friends, they might actually get use out of it and enjoy it without the financial burden of having to go out and buy one.
Yeah, exactly. Like, you're helping someone out and that feels much better.
Yeah. It's like my old laptop. I was asking people if they needed a laptop. And I went, well, I need one because I've not got one. I've got a work one, but I'm trying to do my own stuff now and I can't really do that on my work laptop. It's just not good enough. I was like, all right, well, there you go. Have the laptop.
Yeah, take it. Fuck it.
Yeah. I could have sold that for a couple £100.
Yeah.
It's not worth it.
It is nice.
I get more value out of giving it to someone who needs it than I do just selling it and getting the money.
I'll tell you something, right? Like, I'm not a wealthy guy, but recent calamities on the stock market, as you've heard. At one point, I had more money than I've ever had before and got carried away with it. And the stock market has changed now. And I've not lost money. I just lost the ability to... I think I mentioned it a few weeks ago, like, $9,000 down. It's actually quite a bit more than that. But it was never my money in the first place. It was just, gains that I just never cashed in. I'm not in a bad position. But you know what? Whilst I was doing all that, I was extremely stressed. I was checking the stock market all the time because this is money I've never seen before. I'm like, oh shit, this is it's stressing me out. Whereas now that the markets have changed, I'm not really doing much stocks anymore. And I just feel so much better. I'm poorer, but I'm not poor. So, and I appreciate that. Like, I'm all right. And I think it's much more rewarding to, like, for example, like, I work in the creative space, I make videos and shit, and I want to work on my own films. So I'm currently working on that because I think it's much more valuable to just make something that's cool and then people enjoy it, or to help people out and, do stuff. Like, it's actually stressful having money. Like, it's not.
That's it. The more the momentum builds with trying to sort of roll over the money and the profit and create more of an actual abundance of money, the more stress that then comes with that. And then that stress isn't actually worth the money that you then have.
No, it's not.
Because through that stress, you've then missed opportunities. Your headspace is in a different world, really. Just looking at things going up and down, it's not healthy for anyone, and
you're obsessed over it.
Yeah, that obsession, that's what takes over. And being able to set aside obsession from reality, it's very hard, especially when you've got such large volumes of money that you've never had. But
and you're risking it.
Exactly. The risk versus reward, it becomes so transparent that it's hard to know what the best decision to take is.
Yeah, you end up having a clouded judgment. And I'll tell you what it's like for me. I say that I've lost money. I've not lost my own money. I've just missed out on the opportunity to have money. It's like getting a lottery ticket, changing the numbers that you normally go with, and then your original numbers come up. My uncle says, "Oh, I could have won 3 million quid, but I changed my numbers from my normal ones, and the normal numbers came up, and I missed out." But you never had it in the first place, so you didn't really lose it.
Exactly. So you then,
but it makes you feel like you feel the pain of it, and it's not a good it's very distracting.
Yeah, and then you keep playing with the old thoughts in mind as to how you could have had something.
Could have.
The whole could have is so destructive, and it's so hard to actually think, you know what, this is what I have now. This is what I value now, and this is what is good for me now, rather than what I could have had. Let's just enjoy being in this moment, I have now, and spending it in the right way.